Hello, heroes. Joe Smith here. Joe Smith's had some video stories for that here this past week that probably upset some people. Not like upset you in a bad way, but upset you in a good way to let you know what your politicians are up to mostly, and kind of let you know about criminals and stuff like that. But if those past stories haven't upset you or irritated you or kind of just got you going, "Argh," yet, then this one surely will. This one will definitely get you to say, "Argh!" This one's going to upset you. Santa is jobless in California because of California's AB 5. For those of you that aren't in California, that aren't aware of what AB 5 is some legislation that the state of California passed, a year ago or so. Basically outlawing certain individuals from operating certain businesses. It's more or less just a tax grab because these small businesses, these contractors, independent contractors or self-employed, solo operator, sole proprietorship businesses, after their deduction, because a lot of them didn't make a whole lot of money, maybe 30 to 50,000 a year or something. But then after their deductions, they didn't have to pay much for taxes or any taxes at all. And the state of California was losing out on millions upon millions of tax dollars from all these small businesses and these contractors, self-employed contractors, freelancers, whatever you want to call them, or that. So the state of California decided to make owning certain businesses illegal unless you're like a big business with a bunch of employees that pay payroll taxes. So now, if you want to have a taxi service, if you want to drive like a taxi cab, you have to be an employee of a bigger taxi cab company. You cannot operate your own taxi service unless you have employees. They say that, well, we did this to protect the workers, the contractors, from being taken advantage of by their logistics companies like Uber and Lyft and DoorDash. Is what the leftists and Democrats are claiming there in California. They want to make sure that those business owners made enough profit in their logistics companies that handle their phone apps and their scheduling and booking and billing and all that stuff for their business didn't charge too much money for those services. And now they're making it to where those logistics companies can no longer accept you as a customer. They have to make you an employee of them. So you can no longer, if you want to have your own taxi service, you can no longer hire Uber or Lyft to be your logistics company. They have to hire you to be their employee. And then that means they dictate what you get paid. They dictate what days and hours you work, and they dictate where you drive and who you drive and whatnot. So they claim that they're trying to protect you, but then they take away all of your rights and privileges and freedoms and make you into another wage slave of another corporation. And now they're doing the same thing to Santa here, too, because you see, Santa has been an independent contractor, more or less. Santa has been charging. This is how Santa makes his money, to buy all those presents that he delivers to the children of the world. Because, the elves, he's got to pay the gotta pay wages, gotta pay these elves a living wage, So all these elves gotta get paid living wage, and of course they're all union members. They all belong to the Union of North Pole Elf Workers. So gotta kind of negotiate contracts with the elf union there. So and plus Santa's got some overhead there. Got the reindeer feed and all that too. The sled, gotta maintain the sled. Whenever he takes it to the sled dealership, they charge a bunch of money to maintain the sled there for him. So he's got a bunch of expenses here. So he works a lot at different jobs to come up with the money to pay his overhead, his expenses, his elf workers there, and to buy all those presents. And he does it by going around to different stores and making appearances. He charges usually like $200 to $250 an hour to go to the stores, and then the customers at the stores can take their kids there and meet Santa. So these store owners pay Santa $200 to $250 an hour, so their customers and their customers' children can meet Santa. And that's how Santa makes all his money to buy and make all those toys. And pay the elves and feed the reindeer, So, but now he can no longer do that in California. California says that he has to be an employee of those stores. And the stores decide when he works, what days he's scheduled, or what hours he's scheduled. Well, Santa's a busy man. Santa's been kind of making all these appointments on his own, kind of when he's available and to be where and when and all that. And now California AB5 is saying that Santa has to be just a full-time employee of just one store or something, and which means that the store dictates his wage and what he gets paid. That means the store can only pay him, if the store wants, the store could get away with only paying him minimum wage, which in California I think is like $15 an hour. So from $250 an hour to $15 an hour is what Santa would now make as an employee in California. He make minimum wage. Well, he's going to have to work a lot more hours now to raise money to buy all those presents. At that rate. But here's the thing. A lot of these stores, they only want Santa to come by for like 2 hours or 3 hours or maybe an afternoon or something. They're not interested in hiring him to work 40-hour weeks every week or for a whole month or that. There might be some places, couple places that might be interested in hiring him on as an employee, as a minimum wage employee at 40 hours a week, but most of these places, they just want him to drop by for an hour or two or an afternoon or something like that to meet the employees or meet the customers and that type of thing. So now these companies that only wanted to hire Santa for a couple hours aren't hiring him at all, because it's hire him as an employee just to lay him off 2 hours later and then pay him unemployment. It's just not worth it. Too much paperwork. All that W-2 and stuff for that. So they're like, well, guess we're not going to hire Santa this year. Guess we're going to have to go without Santa this year, because of California AB5 says we either have to hire him as a regular employee or we can't hire him at all. So now, because of the Democrats of California, the greedy Democrats, California trying to come up with ways to get more tax money from businesses so they can charge the big corporations more. They're saying you can't have the small business, you have to work for the big corporations so they can get more tax dollars from the big corporations. Because they weren't getting enough tax dollars from Santa. Because after Santa deducted all those toys he bought on his taxes from, and the wages he paid his house, after he deducted all that on his taxes from what he made doing these appearances in California, well, he had more expenses than he had income. So he didn't have to pay any taxes in California from that income he made. And California didn't like that, so California now wants their fair share of taxes from Santa. Can you believe that? California wants to tax Santa, or else California won't let Santa work in California. Ho ho ho. Merry Christmas. Joe Smith signing out.